Namaste Gurukulians. I hope you all are fit and fine at your home and fighting the so-called disease that is spreaded today, COVID-19. Anyhow, let us resume our discussion of the chapter, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. In the previous class, we discussed about the revolt of Silesian weavers, wherein those weavers revolted against the employers who used to give them very less amount of wages. And as we have seen that on 4th June, a group of weavers went to the house of their masters demanding a rise in the price of their pay. The masters refused to pay the demand of the weavers, as a result of which many weavers revolted against their masters. They looted their houses, they burned the clothes of the stocks. The masters were forced to flee. Here, masters were the European traders. They were forced to flee, and they came after 24 hours with the police and the guards, of course, in which 11 weavers were shot. But that gave rise to a revolt, right? And from there, after the 11 weavers were shot, people were agitated. They came on the road. So from there, carved away, local people carved away that now is the time to abdict the monarch. So while these things was going on, in 1848, two more disadvantage happened with the monarchical system. First thing happened, that was the price of food rose drastically. Second, the harvest in Europe was a very bad one. Now these two things compelled the common people to give less amount of taxes, right? They were not able to give tax. The kings were compelling the common people to take more and more tax. So what happened in France in this case? Louis Philippe was forced to flee when people revolted against this. So in that particular way, the liberals, the people who were especially belonging from the middle class, and they were thinking that a constitution must be framed wherein equal rights must be granted, right? Freedom of press must be there, freedom to express must be there. So this situation was termed as the Revolution of 1848. This is also known as the Revolution of the Liberals. This is also known as the Revolution of the Liberals. So what happened in this revolution? Let us understand. How did this revolution take place? So two major factors were there. First factor was the bad harvest. Second factor was the rise of food prices in a year. Okay. So in many parts of the Europe, as we know that nationalism spread from France, and eventually from France it spread to many other neighboring countries. So in many parts of Europe, like Germany, like Italy, like Poland, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, it was a combination of Austrian and Hungarian Empire. All the common people, men and women who were having the idea of liberalism, right? All the common people out there, they started to think, they started to discuss, they started to tell that now a state must be created on the basis of shared identity, on the basis of common feeling, wherein people must understand that this is the state and they have their own rights. So in the beginning they demanded few rights, like constitution must be framed for the country, freedom of press must be there, wherein people are free to express their views, and freedom of association means they are free to form parties, they are free to form parties fight elections against the ruling party, right? Which will give a feeling to the citizens that nation is theirs and they have equal share in the making of the nation or the development of the nation, right? So this was the basis of movement that was done by the liberals for the freedom of their country. So they started a movement in 1848, and in the month of May a revolution was done in the Frankfurt Parliament. That revolution is known as May Revolution, right? So what happened? On 18th May 1848, 831 elected representatives marched in a festive procession. The members who were elected in the parliament, right, those members who were belonging from the middle class, or you can say from the third estate. We have read about the division of society in France in class 9, about first estate, second estate and third estate. So basically here the 831 members who were elected by the Frankfurt Parliament were basically the members who belong from the common area, so you can say common people, middle class people were there. So on 18th May 1848, 831 elected representatives, they marched in a festive procession to take their place in the Frankfurt Parliament, convened in the Church of St. Paul. That this parliament, it was held, the meeting was held in the Church of St. Paul. So the Church of St. Paul was basically converted into parliament, or you can say a place where discussion will be held. So they all went in the Church of St. Paul, wherein those members sit together, discuss the issues, and they drafted a constitution for a German nation, right? Of a German nation to be headed by monarchy, subject to a parliament. Means monarchy will be there. They were not against the monarchical system. That time these members, they were saying that yes, monarchical system must go on, but with certain conditions, or some restriction must be applied on the power of the king and his ministers. See, earlier what was there? King was there and he was having all the powers to make decisions, to allot the decisions, right? So this decision making capacity must now rest with the common people also, or you can say the members of the parliament. So when the deputies offered the crown on these terms to Frederick William IV, so with these conditions, when the crown was offered to Frederick William IV, that now from now onwards we will have a check on your powers. So the King of Prussia, who was Frederick William IV, he rejected it. He said that no, I will not consider your terms and conditions. I, being a king, am independent to take any decision by my own. I am not dependent on your constitution or the rules which are framed by these members of the parliament. And he joined other monarchs to oppose the elected assembly, and he was also against the elected assembly. So it all happened in the month of May 1848, and that is why this is known as May Revolution, right? Or you can say a revolution of the liberals. So definitely when any revolution is there and the king and other monarchs are against it, then they will definitely try to suppress the revolution, right? Or if the king or the monarchs who are enjoying the power from generation to generation, if we put a brake on their power, or if we check their powers, then what they will feel? They will somehow feel that now, from now onwards, we are having less power, or we are not as powerful as right now. So this revolution must be suppressed. So suppression of May Revolution. The opposition of the aristocracy and military became stronger and the social basis of parliament eroded. So what did they do? The opposition the parliament. Means they were planning what to do. They were planning that yes, we are trying to gain power, obviously. So the parliament was dominated by the middle class who resisted the demands of workers and artisans and consequently lost their support. Now see what happened when these 831 members, elected members, they went to the parliament. First time they were in power, and as you know, when people they do not have anything, suddenly you give them a lot of powers. So definitely they change their track. So these elected members who were belonging from middle class, some of them were belonging from artisans group, some of them were belonging from workers group. So now being a member of the parliament, they were not listening to their own people, means they were rejecting the demand of the workers, they were rejecting the demand of the artisans, as a result of which they consequently lost their support. The members of the parliament lost support of its own people. Now question is why they lost their support? Obviously the government is framed and it is based on people's choice, and definitely people will expect something from the government, right? And if a government is not working as per the wish of the people, then definitely people have the power to change the government. Either two things will happen. Whenever next time election will happen, people will not vote to that concerned member, or the government will be changed, or people will resist against it. And this benefit was taken by the opposition as well as the monarchy, who were waiting for such things to happen so that they can gain control over the existing government, existing system. So the parliament was dominated by the middle class who resisted the demands of worker and the artisans and consequently lost their support. In the end, obviously, the troops were called in and assembly was forced to disband. So when the opposition monarchy felt that they were strong enough to dominate the parliament, they called in the troops, they called in their people, and the parliament was disbanded. It means it was closed, right? So this is how May Revolution was suppressed. Now, during this revolution, during this liberals movement, one issue was uprising, and that issue was political rights to women. See, if we look at the history from the very beginning till now, we can see even in many parts of the world, in parliament, still the members dominating the parliament are male members, right? If you look at the percentage of women in the parliament, either in the upper house or in the lower house, we will find that their percentage is very, very low. So same thing happened in the European countries also. But how did they take the issues of women, or how did women participated in these things to get their rights? Let us see. The issue of extending political rights to women was a controversial one within the liberal movement, in which large number of women had participated actively over the years. Now, if you look at the European society and thinking of the opposition and monarchy, they were against the women. Means, according to them, woman was a subject which should be confined within the boundaries of the house, right? औरतें सिर्फ घर के लिए बनी हैं. But when the liberal movement came, जब liberals का movement start हुआ, they take the issues of the women and they said that if a society or a country or a nation which is framed on the basis of constitution, freedom of press, equal rights, then women also have the right to form association, they have right to form parties, and they can become member of parliament as well. So women form their own political associations, they form their own newspaper, they take part in political meetings and demonstrations. Despite this, they were denied the suffrage right during the election of the assembly. So women took part in meetings or associations. These all were happening during the time of liberal movement, but they were denied right to vote. So from this we can conclude that even in the European society, which were considered very advanced, women were not given equal rights. Yes, one thing was abolished, that was serfdom and bonded labor. Right? Now conservative forces were able to suppress liberal movement in 1848, as I told you that on 8th May, 18th May 1848 revolution took place. In the same year 1848 only, conservative forces, opposition, monarchy, they joined their hands together and they tried to suppress the liberal movement, but could not restore the old order. Means they captured their things, but they could not change the mindset of people. Means whatever change that took place during the movement of the liberals were still in the memories of the people, and now people were expecting again from the conservative the same way liberals were doing, right? So conservative forces were able to suppress liberal movement in 1848 but could not restore the old order. Monarchs were beginning to realize that the cycle of granting concession to the liberal nationalist revolutionaries. Now these monarchs, when they again came to power, one thing was sure. Now they have understood that if we want to rule the people, rule over the people, we have to make some changes in our behavior, we have to make some changes in our rules and regulations. So they started giving some concessions, they started accepting the rules of the people, and they started taking the suggestions into account, so that people must not revolt against the conservative or the old regime. So what the first thing they did was to abolish the serfdom and bonded labor in the Habsburg domination and in Russia. In Russia, where the Habsburg Empire was very big empire, and serfdom and bonded labor was very common. So when monarchy again came into power after suppressing the revolution of the May 1848, they abolished the serfdom and bonded labor in the Habsburg Empire and granted autonomy to some smaller empires. They granted autonomy that you have to give some amount of tax, you are free to rule the country in your own way or the empire in your own way. The Habsburg rulers granted more autonomy to the Hungarians in 1867. More autonomy was granted to Hungarians, right? So this is how the conservative forces came to know that with the change of time, we need to change, else it will be difficult for us to restore the power or to continue ruling on the people, right? So this is all about the revolution of the liberals, right? Now the next topic is about making of Germany and Italy, and few personalities which are involved in the contribution of, you can say, unification of Italy. Three main personalities were there. First was Giuseppe Mazzini, second was Count Camillo de Cavour, and third was Giuseppe Garibaldi. So this we'll discuss in the next video, and we'll also see unification of Germany and unification of Italy. Plus we will see that why Balkan was an area of great conflict and why the kings or the stronger kings wanted to have control over the Balkans. So rest of the matters we'll discuss in the next video. Till then, keep smiling, be happy. Thank you.